guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Victoria. Let's get on with this video. Yo! Victoria's Project. Today I present you the book third. So this is the third book of the Harry Potter series. And before I did the reread, that's right now what I'm doing. When I first read it, this was like my most favorite, most adventurous, like so much fun characters book. Now, because I'm right now reading the fourth book and I'm almost at the end of it, and I'm going to be posting another video because I accidentally skipped last week because I was at my grandma's house. Yeah, I couldn't take it, but now I am, so I'm taking the third book first. I think I like the fourth book better, but I'm gonna be doing that a little later, so yes. This book has different characters, and because in the second book the professor of defense, the dark arts, was lost his memory. He lost his memory and he ended up somewhere that they don't know. They got a new defense of the art teachers. They got different kind of things planned out. And I like that. There are better teachers. There is a better teacher for the defense of our dark arts and everything like that. I liked how the characters were all planned out nicely and the story went smoothly. There were no cracked up parts where they just ended up there while they were just walking somewhere and then they just ended up there. I liked how there was little tiny problems squeezed in the middle, but also this big humongous problem that made us really focus on. There were tiny problems, accidentally ending up somewhere at midnight, accidentally bumping into a teacher on accident, the Dursleys problem. There were everything like that, but they concentrated on one Sirius Black one, where the Dementors try to find him, and Harry knows that Sirius Black is after him, and thinks that, but he's not. So what I thought was the most interesting part of the book was kind of the ending, where they did the time travel but before that, when Sirius Black got in the same forest as them, where they ended up at the same spot when Black was trying to meet with Professor Lupin, and they were trying to meet together, but they accidentally ended up with Hermione and Harry and Ron. They met, and this was a serious part for Harry, just because he thought Sirius Black was after him the whole time, but actually it's his godfather, because he was the best friend of James Potter, Harry Potter's dad, so it's technically his godfather. So I think that part was pretty interesting when they got all up together and they found out that Lupin was a werewolf and that Sirius Black was his godfather, and they all tried to tackle each other, but Lupin tried to stop it, and Professor Snape came and found out what happened. They blacked him out. There were so much good, you could really focus on that part. You could not get your eyes off it because it was super a part where you wanted to know, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? But after you read that part, you're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? What's going to end up? Is Professor Snape going to be okay? Is Professor Lupin gonna be okay? Is Sirius Black gonna hurt Harry? There's just so much things you can think about at once, so it's super interesting and a part where I really focused on. So what I think is the main idea of this whole entire book, or what the author was trying to focus about, this is my opinion, I think this, is trying to find Harry a new family member. But of how Harry's going to get here to there is what's going to be hard. He's going to go through tiny problems. He's going to go through like really big problems. What I thought of it was an ocean or a mountain. An ocean, in fact, there's tiny, tiny waves that go. And while you're walking through them, you might have a little trouble, but not as much. But if there's like this super big wave that's trying to crash upon you, and you try to walk through that, that's going to be something that's hard. So that's what I thought of for this whole story. They were tiny, tiny little problems, and they were super duper duper big problems. If you think of mountains, there are these tiny, tiny hills that are kind of tiring to walk on top of and get down and then walk on top of another hill. But it's not as hard as climbing a whole steep mountain. So that's what I thought of. So this, I think, is showing about not that much friendship. It's not like super duper friendly. It's not like trying to save somebody's friend, kind of like not as the first 2 books. Like the first one was making friends and getting to really know them and getting their trust and earning those loyal things. The second book was about getting your friends kind of like out of danger, kind of trying to let your friends be safe, but it's okay if you're in danger, kind of. I liked those 2 books because of the friendship. I think I like this one because of all the problems and the solution to them are super duper detailed. And I like reading detailed things because then I get to know every single thing. Why it happened, how it happened, who was there, why did it cause this problem, what happened, kind of like all of those stuff. And I like having all of those in my head so that I can remember it for a long, long time. So I think that was a nice thing that the author added to let us understand the book even more, and because she put a lot of details into it, I understood it better. And I also like how Hermione gets a new pet cat, and they think Scabbers, which is Ron's mouse, dead. They think Crookshanks, the cat, the big ginger cat, Hermione's, killed it. Oh my gosh. I thought, like, first when I read it. And I thought that actually Ron deserved punishment. No, sorry, Hermione deserved punishment. So like I said, I think Hermione deserves punishment because her pet killed another pet. So they stopped talking to each other. It was just like these 3. And it was like this. Ron liked Harry. Hermione liked Harry, but they didn't like each other like Hermione and Ron. But at the end, they know that it's not Sirius Black who abandoned and like betrayed Harry's parents, because Harry was so mad at that. He was like, oh my gosh, if I see Sirius Black, I'm gonna try and kill him, kind of like that. He was so mad because he was like, if there weren't Sirius, if there weren't you, my parents would still be alive. If you haven't sold all my information to Voldemort, where I lived, how I lived, if I was even born, Voldemort would never come to my house and try to kill my parents, but he did. So he was so mad, but it actually wasn't him. Yeah, so I think that's a really fun thing to do, like read. But that's not what I'm talking about right now. So the rat, Scabbers, was actually alive. And it was so fascinating to know that. And they now knew that it wasn't Sirius Black who abandoned and it wasn't him who betrayed his parents. It was Peter. And Peter transformed into the mouse, Scabbers. So now they know that it was Peter, that Scabbers, and they tried to kill him, but Harry said no. That's not what my parents would have wanted, even if he did. What he deserves is not killing. He deserves an Azkaban, where it's super scary. Yeah, I think all of the little tiny parts in this book was fun to read. It was fascinating and interesting to get my eyes laid on, and I just really focused on it. That is the end of my book review. If you liked this book review, comment down below what you liked and what you think about this book. Like, and if you haven't, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and bye guys. Let's see you in my next video, maybe next week. Bye! So what I think that J.K. Rowling, or the author, really tried to focus on, or was the main idea of this whole book, was try to find Harry a new family member to go and live with and have maybe a happier life, because Sirius Black is Harry's godfather. He is the family member. But the way to how to get to that part, like how to get to where he finds out. So I think the main idea, or the thing that I think that J.K. Rowling is trying to show us mostly in the story, or like what she thought of while she was writing this book, I think it was trying to find Harry another family member, kind of, because Godfather is kind of like a family. Like, I think that's the whole idea, but trying to get to that stage where he learns it, the way he gets there is the part where it's kind of hard to like keep having. So another part I thought that really, well, like what I